How have you ever thought that you were going to do a thing and then you didn't do a thing and now you're way behind on doing that thing? Yeah, well, that happened to me. I had these videos done a week before August, and then life decided it wanted to throw me around like a rag doll. So I am now getting these up, but I really wanted to do a voiceover and be able to talk to you so this is not so boring as just watching me paste things on a page. I will have all of the supplies listed below. I will do my best to try to find the stickers and the papers I used. None of these are affiliations, so you go and you may find these things, use them at your own risk at any websites you get these from. But if I can find them, I will list them below. I always have a calendar page. I absolutely use this thing nearly on a daily basis. I really have to be able to see that overall view of what's going to go on from week to week. Otherwise, I get lost. I forget I don't have enough time to get something done. When I'm like, oh yeah, I got 2 weeks. And then I look at my calendar, I'm like, you have one weekend in which to accomplish that task. So you'd better get done now. So the calendar is just so very, very important for me. I decided to go with a camping theme for this month. I really love camping. When I was a kid, it was like one of my favorite things to do. And I even did it a lot into adulthood. But in the last, 10 years or so, I've kind of got away from it. Um, just been too busy. And quite honestly, I don't want to sleep on the ground anymore. But I love these stickers. They are so cute. And I know I had a lot of papers that I chose for this month. But I ended up not using some of the colors because they actually just didn't feel like they matched once I started to put the spreads together. This little notes area I just haven't been using from month to month, I've noticed. I haven't figured out a better way to use this area. I really like filling it in with something. I'm just not sure. If you have any ideas on how to just use this little strip, just go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And maybe next month I will come up with some better way to use that area. The next page that I like to have is a brain dump task page. So my brain dump is where I just throw things as kind of a catch-all to remind myself of some things that may not have to be done at a specific time or day, but I need to be thinking about for the future. And then I have my task page. A lot of that is like the work that I do. I'm a food photographer and I also do bookkeeping. I keep them all listed here to keep me on track. I decided I would go ahead and tell you a camping story. So this was probably one of the worst camping trips I had taken ever. And I went with my sister. And she had a child, and I had 4 children at the time. And we decided to let her husband at the time decide where we were going to go camping because the trip we had taken before that was a disaster for them, and he was convinced that he could find the best place. So we went on this trip and we ended up going to a place that was so hot. We felt like we were on the sun. Okay, we live in Arizona, so it was hot. So you have to go up into the mountains for a nice, cool camping trip. And so we went to this place. It was hot as hell. And we're like, we're not going to do this. I'm not going to be camping here. So we decided we were not going to stay there. And we thought, well, let's just drive an hour north to this other campsite and we'll camp there. And we get out there and we discovered it was not open to the public. And we're like, oh goodness, what are we going to do? It was so late in the evening by the time we figured out what to do. And we ended up staying overnight in one of those like places that you're not supposed to be staying overnight, or just a rest stop area. And we stayed there for a few hours and the kids slept. And then early morning, I call my sister and I'm like, hey, let's just drive to the old campsite that we went to before. And so she's like, sure. So we drove there. And right when we got to that place, we found a different area to camp in. And I got a flat tire on my car, like right after we parked. And we're like, really? So we fixed the flat. And then later on the trip, different things happened. We discovered we had camped right near a wasp's nest. One of my children got stung by a bee, and she was like a year and a half old. And then after a day of being there, we hear bears growling somewhere out in the distance, and we're like, we're out of here. So we packed ourselves up in the quickest of time and got into our cars and left. I mean, yeah, it was the worst. Oh, and one last thing. Her husband didn't even show up. He didn't show up at the first campsite. He didn't even try to find us where we eventually camped. He totally ditched us. So what is your absolute worst camping story? Comment below. I'd love to read it. The last pages I'm going to work on are my trackers. I track the way I feel when I get up in the morning. I have 4 areas that I go over that have to do with how alert I was when I woke up, how much energy I had, what my mood was like, and if I was feeling any kind of pain that day that I wanted to keep track of. I have a place where I keep track of the colors that was basically the overall mood for that day, but really it's just uh, it's an overall view of how I was feeling that day. Because depending on how alert I was, depending on how much energy was, what my actual mood is, whether I was cranky or happy or indifferent, and if I had any pain that day, it affects how the overall mood is for the day. And I like to keep track of that to see if I'm getting better in relation to other things that are going on in my life. Specifically, I keep track of how much sleep I'm getting and how many apneas I have at night because I have sleep apnea. And so I like to see where I'm at mood wise and is that improving based on the numbers that I have from my apnea machine. Now I've decided to do something a little different here. I've gotten rid of a lot of trackers because I've kind of just decided that I've got to put a lot of things on hold right now. I've been trying to do a lot of goals and I just don't have the energy or the headspace. And I realized I need to take a step back and just do basics, stop tracking so much crap that is driving me crazy, trying to keep it all tracked and making sure all the things happen. When honestly, I'm kind of a do it as I feel like doing it kind of person. So I decided to break it down into some different categories and just put like an overall basic couple of tasks that I want to get done in each of those areas. And that's what I'm going to use that area for this month. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll soon be uploading the weeks 1 through 4 video. And once that is up, there'll be a link on the screen right here. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next video.